Hey YouTube, Dan Otto here, coming at you with Obstagoon Community Day analysis because Toshi, Tangent, and I, so Toshi and Tangent and myself, like all legends, pretty easy, all pretty high on self. We're having a debate about whether this new Pokemon move Obstruct actually makes, so Obstagoon is kind of just like fringe Great League and Ultra League as it is. Like it has some play against because there's tons of like psychics and ghosts, so it has play, but like the being taken out by counter or any fighting move too fast is kind of hindering it. So we were having this debate whether this new move, which buffs your defense by 1 and lowers your opponent's defense by 1, whether that makes this either slightly better or a lot better. And there's two different thoughts about this, and I'll go over those thoughts after I do the PVPoke analysis. So I'll go over the PVPoke analysis to explain, like, in the one shield what happens, and then the two different scenarios of either this is going to be a slightly better Pokemon or a lot better Pokemon, depending, in my opinion, how you play it. So let's look at just the Great League. So we have Obstagoon on the top with Night Slash and Gunk Shot. We have Night Slash and Cross Chop as a second, and then we have this new move Obstruct as third. So for the most part, like it's not surprising you're not gonna really beat your the stuff that you weren't gonna beat, like Bug, Flyer, Charmer. Where you're gonna start picking up matchups is so Cress, because before you were taking Super Spectrum from the Moonblast, you can now just keep hitting them, hit them with like 1 or 2 Obstruct, and then go Night Slash when their defense is much lower. And then you're going to start picking up these matchups against, so Mandibuzz. I'll go over what Tangent said about Mandibuzz in 1 second there, that matchup in general. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start picking up what I call these glacier Pokemon in the Great League. Pelipper, Politoed, where's the Swampert one? Swampert. And why that is essentially Obstagoon is not super glassy in the Great League, but it's not like a tank that it is in the Ultra League. Those glacier Pokemon are super spammy. Politoed, Swampert, and Pelipper. But those Pokemon are also very glassy. So you're not going to outspam them with your bulk because they're just too spammy and those Weather Balls and Hydro Cannon hit too hard. But if you can now ramp up, counter is such like a broken move in the Great League, in Ultra, like any league. Counter is like a broken move. So even if it's non-stab, if you can bump your defense up to take a couple more of those Weather Balls and Hydro Cannons and lower their defense, the counter is going to do the majority of the damage. So in the end, you're going to see you pick up 6 matchups on the Cross Chop and 5 on the Gunk Shot, right? So now if you reset this and go to Ultra League, level 50 against this new meta, we can put in Obstagoon. I'm just going to put in Cross Chop and I'm going to put in this move Obstruct because you don't really use Gunk Shot in the... There's not... Well, I'll put it in just for... I don't think you really use it in Ultra League, quite honestly, so it'll now be the second. Yeah, so, okay, so it's a little closer here. 25 wins for Obstruct, 24 for Gunk Shot. Again, that really depends on a bait, right? And then 22 for Cross Chop. And it's probably gonna be the same thing. So yeah, Gunk Shot, you pick up the Tapu Fini, which is obvious. But then it's like, here you go. Again, your Shadow Swampert you pick up with the Obstruct there, and you pick up the Politoed. And it's the same sort of thing. Like just these spammier options that if you can just lower their defense and buff your defense, it's good. So on paper, you're going to be starting to pick up a bunch of matchups, which is good. You're obviously going to lose to the ones you're going to lose, but even some of those matchups that you're going to lose, you actually, I should have showed that. You don't actually lose by as much. So even in some of the matchups that you lose, you used to lose before by a lot, you're losing by a little less because you're just buffing your attack, you're buffing your defense, and you're lowering their defense. And so there's two thoughts on this. I'm going to go with Tangents first because Tangent made a good point. So in the Mandibuzz match, I mentioned how he picks up the Mandibuzz match because, for reference, Cross Chop does 25 damage to a Mandibuzz, Night Slash does 19. That is far closer than it ever should be, and that's true. Like because it is a dark normal, you do not get stab on the fighting move. You get stab on the dark move. So in the Mandibuzz match, you can throw a non-stab fighting move that hits neutral because Mandibuzz is half dark, and it only does 25 damage. But Night Slash, a resisted move with stab, does 19. So that is like what Tangent has, way closer. So he basically goes on to say, you'll be fine with counter plus Night Slash spam against nearly anything, and you can have Obstruct as a squeeze closer move, similar to Acid Spray. So that's basically the thought process about why it's going to be much, much stronger is that in some of these matchups, your ability to just continue to lower your Pokemon's defense and buff yours not only flips your matchups that you're in currently, it could flip potentially other matchups, right? Even if you, let's say you're against a, so I just did example of, if you watched my video the other day about lowering the Vigoroth's attack with Feather Dance, and then I come into the mirror match. That's sort of what you can do here. You can lower someone's defense before bailing, and then having something come in either a neutral matchup or a stronger matchup is now a much stronger matchup, which makes it more valuable. I didn't put Toshi's, so Toshi and I agree on this. The problem with this analysis is thinking about how people actually battle and how I actually play. So I'm, let's say I'm in, I switch into something that's weak to Obstagoon, like some Pokemon that's like a Vigoroth, right? That's, oh no, Vigoroth's a bad example because it can for counter. So Registeel was an example that someone used, that Tangent used. He said that like if you throw 2 obstructs at the Registeel, you can now survive a Focus Blast, which will do double super effective against Dark against normal. The problem with that is it's going to take, I don't know how many, it's 45 energy. I forget how much counters. So it's going to take like probably like 5 to 7 counters to get to the obstruct. So you're going to have to get to that move with the counters. You're going to have to throw 1 obstruct. You're going to have to get to another move, throw another 5 7 counters. You have to throw the second obstruct. At the same time, Registeel is going to be throwing these zap cannons at you to lower your attack. The switch timer is 60 seconds. If you can burn the timer or just get out of there and reset these nerfs and come in with something that hard counters. So if I'm running Reggie and I'm running like a Tapu Fini, which is like hard walls, double dark Obstagoon, what I can do is essentially burn the switch clock out and reset my debuff. And so the Obstagoon's gonna have to leave too because it can't do anything. So it's gonna have to reset its buffs. So basically what you do is you just burn out the clock, avoid being switch locked, and then you're forcing the Obstagoon to reset everything that it's just done. So the Obstruct is actually not a hard hitting move. It's only like 15 damage, which is nothing. You're using it similar to you would Acid Spray or Feather Dance. It's a move that does not do anything real damage, but it buffs you and it lowers the defense of your opponent. But how you work around it and how I would work around this is burn the switch clock and then reset on something that can just take it out. So it'll reset your defense lower and then it'll reset Obstagoon's defense buff because you just force it out into a tough matchup and that it has to bail. So that's why, like, looking at the straight PVPoke analysis, it's like, oh wow, if I stayed in this matchup with the Swampert, I'm going to take it because I buffed I buffed my defense so much and I lowered its defense so much. It's like, yeah, but I can just load to like 2 hydro cannons and bail into something that hard counters you. So then you bail and reset. And by the time we come back in next time around, I've got 2 hydro cannons and my defense isn't lowered and your defense isn't buffed. I can just hit you with 2 hydros to take you out, right? So that is how you're going to have to work around it. So is Obstagoon better? Yes. As you saw with like, and he mentioned, and I agree with Tangent, like in the Mandibuzz match, in certain matchups, having just buffing your counter is going to make you flip some matches. So in my opinion, Obstagoon gets better. Is it going to be this like amazing pick up 6, 7 matches, lower defense of other Pokemon, stuff like that, and flip other matches? I don't think so because I think there's ways you can work around this move. I find this move fascinating because it's not just like a normal like Hydro Can or something where you know you're just gonna get like a hard hitting move that you just need to spam and stuff like that. This one's gonna take some thinking around how to play it and how to play against it. Um, Plus, it's triple Stardust catch, so you got to grind that dust while you can. So, in my opinion, should you build a Great League, Ultra League, and Match League Obstruct Obstagoon? Yes. Do the other Obstagoons have zero play anymore? No. I think you should probably, if you can, grind as hard as you can to get 2 to 3 good Great League, Ultra League, and Match League Pokemon, and then have all of them with the Community Day move, and then figure out which ones you want to change to non-Community Day moves after that. So that's my thoughts on this. Good luck with your Community Day. Let me know how it goes. And then, yeah, I'll be excited to use it. I'm sure that what's on right now. I'm sure someone will use it before. This is the problem, not the problem with living in North America, but like Australia, and there's a lot of people like Tho and Yonkis who are like 6 hours ahead of me. So before I even get my community day, they are going to have this community day. They're going to do a couple battles, a couple sets in. Right now, they can do it in the what's this cup? Summer Cup, because Obstagoon is half normal, so it's allowed in Summer Cup, and then they showcase it before I even get a chance to catch mine. So I'm sure others will showcase it, but that's my thought process on this community, and that's my thought process on how you should use it and how you should go against it. So good luck, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.